and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on biology and HIV/AIDS. In the last few in-class lessons with teacher, you studied the relevance of biology in different fields. You looked at the role of biology in food production, health and disease, conservation, and population control. Today, we will turn our attention to another very important field in which biology is relevant: the fight against HIV/AIDS. We will discuss how the science of biology can help combat the HIV virus. We will also look at the work of biologists who are actively involved in seeking a solution. This lesson is significant because it directly concerns Ethiopia. HIV/AIDS affects the world, but the destruction of the disease is widespread in Ethiopia, as well as other African countries. Let us begin the lesson by discussing the virus of HIV and explain how AIDS develops. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome, or AIDS, is caused by the human immune deficiency virus, or HIV. HIV infects cells called T helper cells in the immune system. These are cells that help the body to fight off diseases. It is possible for the body to replace the infected T helper cells for a few years, but eventually the body can no longer replace the cells and the virus takes over. This is when AIDS develops. AIDS seriously reduces the body's immune functioning. The body becomes prone to any infection and can suffer greatly from even common illnesses. Since the T helper cells are infected, they cannot work to protect the body. You will learn more about the structure of the HIV virus later on in this course. For now, let us do an activity to ensure you have a basic understanding of HIV and AIDS. Please read the following paragraph and fill in the blanks with the correct term.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again, everyone. How did you do? Let us review the answers together. The paragraph should read as follows. AIDS is caused by the virus HIV. This virus infects the cells in the immune system called T helper cells. These are the cells that help the body fight off diseases. If the cells cannot withstand the virus, AIDS develops. AIDS reduces the body's immune functioning. Did you write down the same answers? If so, great work. Let us continue on with the lesson. AIDS is usually a sexually transmitted disease, but HIV can be transmitted in 4 main ways. The first way is through intercourse with an infected person. The second way is by sharing infected needles. The third way is through a transfusion of infected blood. The fourth way is from a mother to a child during pregnancy. There are several methods to stop the spread of HIV and AIDS. The first is to break the transmission pathway. This means that if the disease is not spread from person to person, it can be stopped. Over time, the disease may not even exist. Another method is to produce drugs that kill the virus or stop the virus from reproducing. The last method is to produce a vaccine against the virus. A vaccine would make people immune to the virus. If enough people are immune to the virus, it cannot spread easily, which breaks the transmission pathway. Biologists have developed drugs called anti-retroviral drugs to combat the virus. HIV is a retrovirus. A retrovirus inserts its RNA into a host cell where it is reversed transcribed to DNA. This consists of 4 stages in its life cycle. First, the virus enters the body. Next, the viral genetic material is converted into DNA. The newly formed DNA enters the host cell DNA, where it instructs the cell to make more HIV. Anti-retroviral drugs were created to break the life cycle of the virus. There are different anti-retroviral drugs used to target different stages of the life cycle. The drugs work best when they are taken in combination. This is called highly active antiretroviral therapy, or HAART. It is important to note that these drugs only treat the HIV that is presently in the body. the drugs do not provide immunity, which means the person could be infected again. Biologists have also been working on the development of a vaccine against HIV. A vaccine would provide immunity. However, the challenge to this development is that HIV is an unpredictable virus that changes quickly. Also, different strains of HIV affect people differently. It is difficult to develop a vaccine that provides immunity for all forms of HIV. But there is hope. Biologists have found one part of the virus that is common in all strands. They have been working to construct a vaccine based on this common part. There is a group of people in Kenya who have been exposed to HIV, yet have never developed AIDS. Biologists have been studying and working with this group to discover how their immune system is able to fight off the infection. The human antibodies produced by the people in this group may hold the key to developing a successful vaccine against HIV. We have time for one last activity. Students, what does the acronym HAART stand for? Once you have defined HAART, please explain what it is.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. Were you able to complete this activity? HAART stands for the Highly Active Anti-Retroviral Therapy. This form of therapy happens when a person infected with HIV takes a combination of anti-retroviral drugs designed to treat HIV at different stages of its life cycle. This therapy only treats the HIV that is currently in the infected person's body. It does not provide the person with immunity against the virus. I hope you wrote down a similar answer. This brings us to the end of our lesson for today. We studied HIV and AIDS and discussed how it is caused and how it is spread. We learned a few ways biologists are working to find solutions to combat the disease. We discussed breaking the transmission pathway and developing drugs and vaccinations against the virus. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.